is scheduled in the junior welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing red trunks trimmed in black, he weighed in officially 145 1/4 pounds. As a professional, his record stands at 14 victories, 7 defeats, 1 draw with 6 wins, coming by way of knockout from Fort Worth, Texas. Here is Jose El Loco Hernandez. And next his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing red with silver, trimmed in white, he weighed in 145 1/4 pounds as well. In 11 professional bouts, he is perfect with 10 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, and 3 knockout wins. From Austin, Texas, by way of St. Louis, Missouri, here is the undefeated Keandre Sugar King Gibson. Referee in charge of the action is John Shorley.
Go blue. Come on, man.
So they're trying to get Gibson into the middle of the ring. Referee John Shorley just put his hands out like, come on, what are you doing here?
You can make the other fighter
wait,
wait,
definitely, right?
but not the referee.
Gibson taking a sweet time around to Lee Smith when he was a closer. Just take his time, Stratton.
Good. Give me a good, clean fight. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Starts gloves. Good luck.
Getting ready to go. Junior welterweight division 8-rounder. Undefeated Keandre Gibson 10-0 against Jose Loco Hernandez 14-7-1.
Now, you know, Keandre has sparred with Canelo and Pac-Man. He learned he could take a punch from those guys. But also, interesting thing he told us, he learned about going from defense to offense. Some of the tricks in terms of the timing that you get from the better fighters. And that's really a nice step going forward.
You just mentioned a who's who of boxing. My goodness. Young fighter, 24 years old, going up against those guys in their camps in Big Bear. We're at the wild card in Hollywood.
Well, in some ways, they give you a little bit of advice on execution and technique, and in other ways, they give you a good advantage in terms of attitude. Just being around them enhances your expectations.
Jose Loco Hernandez from Fort Worth, Texas, hasn't fought in almost a year. Turned pro at the age of 17. So he's been a pro for 10 years. A tough fighter, always in the mix. If Gibson just real quick.
Only in boxing can you go for 10 years and have a record of 14-7, and when you're asked about it, you say, yeah, it's been difficult. You've won 2/3 of your fights, but still, he knows what a hard road it has been. And he won a youth title a few years ago, and he was on his way, and then he hit a limit.
Keandre Gibson with the red gloves, Hernandez with the black, and just that quickness that Keandre Gibson is showing. His last fight, he took care of John Nader with a body shot here in Texas in the 4th round. That was back in May. Good stiff jab from Keandre Gibson.
Yeah, he's showing you the quick hands, and Hernandez is able to block a lot of that, but Gibson is seeing what angle he ought to be shooting it from. Maybe the second one will slip through, and then maybe he'll jab and then go to the body like he did there.
He's snapping that jab, keeping the hands down, the double jab, overhand right. So that's his best punch, is a straight right. As Hernandez swings wild, but Hernandez starting to put his hands up a little bit higher. Those good jabs from Keandre Gibson. Body shot. Ooh, good body shot.
And when you double up the jab, as Gibson has been doing, you can distract your opponent with the jab and then just drop that hook in there off of that if your timing is perfect. And that's what he's trying to do. That was a good left hook to the body moments ago.
Keandre Gibson, now living in Austin, Texas. Said one of his favorite fighters growing up, Sugar Ray Leonard, also Sugar Shane. Said, just give me all the sugars. And he's taking the sugar name with him. Good.
Well, he's got the quick feet. He's got the hand speed, and he could be a Sugar as far as his style and the speed that he brings into his fights.
Hernandez just looking a step slower. 3 years older, but a step slower than the young Keandre Gibson. 10 seconds to go in the 1st round, and Hernandez just pushes him down, getting dirty. He said in the ring he's local, but that's just dirty.
Yeah, he's lucky.
Gibson just looks across the ring, puts the glove up. Okay. All right, now we're mixing it up here.
He's lucky he didn't lose a point there. That was a flagrant and deliberate push.
What did we say? What we said we gonna do, we gonna make it pay. Don't get upset, because you can't do it yourself. Keep that fight, keep the number three. It's almost like it's almost like it's 30 seconds. All right? Relax.
Well, toward the end of the first round, we had a takedown. Or was it a throwdown? And Hernandez, with his man on the ground, keeps it going. It was a headlock from Gibson. And then Hernandez followed up.
In real time, it looked like Hernandez is the one that got hit, but it was more of Gibson holding on to it. Well, both these guys are awake now, and Gibson's coming out a little bit more aggressive. Hernandez has been in the mix for a while, 10-year pro. Knows the tricks of the trade. Uppercut, blocked by Gibson. Keeps his hands up really high.
The referee should take a cue from that and be right on top of these guys when they're in tight, because they took matters into their own hands and it became a roughhouse spectacle at the end of that round.
Give referee John Shirley some credit, though. Instead of just overreacting, just let that one play out. Gibson complaining, Hernandez complaining, just send them both to their corner.
Mutual dissatisfaction is always good for a situation
And there
like
you see
that.
right away, jumps right on in. Headlock, jumps right on in. Good job by referee John Shorley. Jessica Rosales all over the ring, getting more info from the corner. What do you have, Jess?
Meetings, both of these guys agreed that they will bring out the most in each other tonight. Hernandez said that he brings a fight to the fighters he sees in the ring, and Gibson agrees. He said this is the exact type of fight he needs. Hernandez comes to fight, and Keandre hopes that he will bring out the best in him tonight. And he also said that this is a fight fans won't want to miss because they're both going to bring it tonight.
And that's what they're trying to do here. And they went a little step further with the wrestling on the inside, a show of their intensity to put on the best performance tonight.
Big, wild swing and a miss from Hernandez. He smiled. Gibson just stared at him, saw that one coming. You see how slow Hernandez is compared to Gibson.
And if you're going to be slow, you better bring that right hand back quickly, because Gibson will be right behind that right hand with a hook or a good shot of his own if it's not a hook.
Less than a minute to go in the second round, scheduled for 8 junior welterweights. Both weighing 145.
Now, we talked about in the tail of the tape how the numbers were similar on these guys. So somebody has to change, and somebody has to take a chance to make this stylistically pleasing. One guy has to open up, show a different angle, a feint, get on the inside, because there is no natural height and reach advantage for either of these guys.
First time that Hernandez has fought at 145, moving up. Usually he's around 135 or the 140. So it wasn't going to concern him. He just can go out there and fight. It doesn't matter. 10 seconds to go in the second round. Gibson, local Hernandez. Closing seconds of the second round in Corpus Christi, Texas. And we're back in the third round. Keandre Gibson, red gloves. Jose Loco Hernandez with the black gloves. If you're wondering what's on the head of Loco Hernandez, it's FHG. It stands for Faith, Hope, and Gloves Boxing. That's the gym he works out of in Fort Worth, Texas. It takes about an hour to get that carved into his head. He's had the last couple fights. And there he takes a body shot from Gibson.
That was a real good body shot by Gibson. He followed it with another. He likes to throw the straight right hand, so we'll see if that opens up for him or he's just content with how the style plays out for his hook because he's finding a home for it.
Looks like Gibson's emphasizing the body here in the third round. First couple he went upstairs. The third opening up with the body. Here's corners on the body. Doubles up on the body with the left hooks.
He's going to bring those hands down from Hernandez if he keeps landing hooks like this.
Uppercut. Hernandez tries uppercut of his own. Nothing but leather. Snapping that jab. Here's Gibson. 24-year-old from St. Louis. Uppercut. Hernandez said he wasn't going to back down. He's going to be in there. He's there.
Okay, when he went low a little while ago, there was a little shrug from Gibson in the psychological warfare department. Like, that low blow was nothing.
He's answering back, continuing to work the body, emphasizing the body. With Hernandez trying to work the body himself.
Every time Gibson throws 2 left hooks, Hernandez comes back like, hey, that's a good idea.
He's following the leader right now.
Don't mind if I do.
The difference is the punching power that Gibson has against Hernandez. Uppercut, left hook. Less than a minute to go in the third round. Keandre Gibson, undefeated, 10-0. A draw in a second fight after that. He's been perfect.
Good left hook got in by Hernandez.
Gibson shrugs it, keeps coming. Exchanging jabs. Gibson looks like just picking the spot right here. 30 seconds to go in the fight, in the third round. Gibson sees those wild punches coming, just bobs and weaves. See the difference in the speed. Talked about that from the get-go. Keandre Gibson getting some work here. Double jab in the body shot. 10 seconds to go. Good round for Keandre Gibson. Attacking the body.
I talked about the body shots, how they both love it in that last round. A double left hook there by Hernandez, then the uppercut, and then a good hard right hand to the body by Gibson. That's his favorite punch, too.
Gibson walked back fresh. Hernandez after the third round went to his corner, grabbed the ropes a little bit, took a deep breath. He's taking his time trying to catch his breath. His body shots are starting to take a toll here.
And these have all been high-level body shots that Gibson has landed. He gets everything into it. A lot of momentum coming from his hips. You want to snap it, but you don't want to go back too far. And Hernandez has been bringing it back very far when he fires his, and as a result, it takes a little too long to get there, and you could be countered with a right hand.
And for more info from the corner of Gibson, here's Jessica Rosales.
His corner was telling me that he is getting ready to take over this fight, that he's got confidence, and there's 2 key things that you will see that give that away. And they said that the first one is that he's countering a lot more, and the second is that he's standing still.
All right, well, they would think that Hernandez, if Hernandez is standing still, he'll be in a tough situation because he'll take these shots and they will have a bad effect on him, and that's what's happening now. And the fact that he's countering means that Hernandez is not confident enough to get off first because he's worried about what's coming back at him.
Good jab. As Hernandez started to go to the body a bit, Gibson just stands there and takes it. Not really dazed at all. Hook from Gibson. Body shot from Hernandez. A hook from Gibson again. Body shot. Just vicious body shots from Gibson.
Anybody care for a jab, or did they throw that out of the rules here?
You don't need them in the 4th round or the 3rd, it looked like. You got a hook like that. Body shot from both. Okay, you do one, I got one.
Let me know when you want to throw it. I'll be ready.
No need to move around the ring. Just stand in the middle, get some roots, and let's just trade. Oh, good body shot from Gibson. Followed by a jab, and now you see some blood coming out of the nose and the mouth of Hernandez.
And that was a definitive shot that punctuated the exchange. The left hook by Gibson to the body. It forced Hernandez back.
And you mentioned earlier, you're going to see the hands of Hernandez coming down. They've come down a lot. They're around the ribs now. Started out really high. First and second round. Now they're up down there by their waist. Hernandez trying to dig in his own. Gibson not moving. Gibson just shaking his head. Nope. 10 seconds to go in the 4th round, which I say the body round. Somebody gets hit upstairs finally in this round. More body. Good work.
Well, it was a body shot, home run derby, and then some other things like that big right hand by Gibson, which got in. And good, hard stuff upstairs at the end of the round after they went at it all around to the body.
5th round, scheduled for 8. Both these fighters weighing 146. They're coming out, letting the hands go here. Good left hook as Hernandez hits himself. Like, okay, you don't need to hit yourself when you're getting hit. But he's loco, that's what he said. Outside of the ring, one of the nicest, sweetest guys you'll ever meet. Inside, that's when loco comes out. He's always been like that since the amateur days.
Now the question is, who's going to adjust their timing? Because this is all telegraphed, what Hernandez is doing, and there is Gibson with a double jab. They're both tired as well, bear that in mind, but each guy knows what is coming. It's winding up, almost a press conference to announce it. So if one guy wants to sneak inside, a double jab, cut something off, can land a big one.
Almost looks like Gibson is just doing this on purpose, like he's working on something right now. Going upstairs. Left hook. Wild right hand from Hernandez. Gets tagged with the right hand by Gibson. A left from Gibson. Now you see the conditioning coming into a factor.
We talk about Gibson and what he's doing. He's going to the body, and with the idea that Hernandez is just going to collapse as he has been getting to him, and body shots have been adding up.
Last time Hernandez fought was in August of last year against Rustam Nugayev. Fight that he was knocked out. He was hurt in the 1st round, and we haven't seen him since then. Maybe some ring rust, or maybe still in effect.
Well, you have to shake that off, but he has looked pretty good here tonight as far as the ring rust angle. Just a matter of going in against a guy who's a little different level than he is and who is focused on a target. Focusing on the body has been an excellent strategy for Keandre Gibson, and it sets up everything behind it.
50 seconds to go in the 5th round. Keandre Gibson, red gloves. Hernandez with the black gloves. Gibson lives in Austin, but he's from St. Louis. Local Hernandez from Fort Worth, Texas. His reputation is he'll come in there and he's not going to back away. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Trying to mix it up with Keandre Gibson. Taking some abuse to the body. Keeps on coming. Good one from Hernandez. Gets his corner fired up. Crowd a little bit fired up here. Now he pushes him into the corner. Just pushing on, leaning on Gibson here. 10 seconds to go. Good round for El Loco Hernandez from Fort Worth.
It had been all Gibson, but it would not be all Gibson all the time, as Hernandez found the range in the last 20 seconds of that last round and found a home for his left hook.
And look, hook landed where Gibson got scolded in his corner, getting told by his trainer, "You don't do that to me." Joe Reed letting him have it. We go to the 6th round, scheduled for 8. In Corpus Christi, Texas, Beto Duran along with Dave Bontempo and Jessica Rosales. 146-pounders going at it. Keandre Gibson and Loco Hernandez. And just going right back at it on top of each other.
I like it when the corner says, "You can't do that to me." like he's the one taking the punches. A lot of ebb and flow in this fight, and what's interesting is that these guys have been congratulating each other after the last 2 rounds, as if it was the end of the fight. Good sportsmanship, and in the middle of the fight, they're slapping gloves.
Coming up August 22nd, go back to California, Fairfield. Tino Avila against Sergio Frias. Also, the Gallo Negro, Joe Washington, will be on that card on FS1. Well, we're here in Corpus. Keandre Gibson in the 6th round against Loco Hernandez. Gibson's been working the body the entire fight. Hernandez keeps coming. Snapping that jab is Gibson. Started off really fast, continues to improve. That conditioning factor of going to Big Bear and going up against some of the bigger names in the sport really showing off here for Gibson.
Well, and there was one thing in response to the corner getting on him, because he came out and adjusted the style a little bit in the middle part of this round. He went back to the jab. Doesn't have to open up and fire hooks and make it risky all the time. He can stay outside and jab. He's had the amateur background and pedigree. Go with the jab. If the knockout happens, it happens. If not, get the points.
45 seconds to go in the 6th round. Been a tough fight for Jose Hernandez, but then again, he says his entire career has been tough. Turned pro at the age of 17. Keandre Gibson trained at the Wild Card Gym. But now when he walks into the Wild Card, he's getting recognized by other fighters. Does he start sweating? No, that's what I expect.
Okay.
You have some lofty expectation for yourself.
He has a lot of backing and a lot of expectations.
He's looking good here against Jose Hernandez. Closing seconds of the 6th round in Corpus Christi. And we're back in Corpus Christi, Texas. Keandre Gibson, Jose Hernandez. Gibson with the red gloves, Hernandez with the black gloves. Hernandez 14-7 in his career, a tough fighter, and that's exactly what Keandre Gibson got tonight. Fighter, cover the $2 steak, right? Just he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's been a tough opponent. Gibson has been working the body real hard and then got back to the jab last round, which had been his calling card in the amateur several years ago. And it sometimes drives trainers crazy when you try to muscle up on a guy when you also have the ability to box.
Gibson sparred with actually Frankie Gomez, the pit bull from East LA, for this fight. As Gomez, we saw not too long ago here on Golden Boy Live, that helped him out because the pit bull has the same size as a local. They just come at you. It really helped him. He's also sparred with Jose Ramirez, the Olympian who fought over the weekend.
And when you're a guy who likes to box, somebody who comes right at you is the perfect, ideal style. You can move to the side, you can time your shots, you can find angles, you can make the guy's power work against him. So it just boils down to timing after that.
Gibson double jab, still with the speed on that jab. But we noticed right away from the opening bell. Hernandez slowing down a bit, wondering if those body shots taking a toll on him. Here in the 7th round, scheduled for 8. A lot of respect between the two fighters. You mentioned earlier they're talking after every round, tapping their gloves.
It's like they feel they're involved in
A lot of respect.
a real good battle too. They feel they brought the best out in each other.
Well, Gibson's going to tell him to bring out some more. Hernandez coming in there, not going away. Hernandez definitely has the crowd on his side, rooting for the underdog. He's from Fort Worth. Quick hands from Gibson.
And when you see that jab combination by Gibson, you see that he doesn't have to make fights hard for himself if he doesn't want to.
The mouthpiece of Hernandez comes flying out after that jab.
They wait for a natural break in the action so that nobody has an edge. And then they'll stop.
Good left from Gibson. Less than 10 seconds to go. 7 rounds. Good battle between the two. Eighth and final round between Keandre Gibson and Jose Hernandez. And Gibson's corner with some advice that makes sense.
They said, you better give me the 3 minutes all the way to the bell here. And it doesn't matter even if they think that he's safely out in front of this fight, they're trying to build this guy for future fights. They're trying to put into him the idea that the last round of any fight he's in, championship level as he goes up from here, that he's got intensity to bring it to it and that he will not rest on his laurels.
Second time in his young career that Keandre Gibson goes to the 8th round. He's undefeated. And the throwdown from Hernandez. There was a lot of respect earlier, a lot of mutual respect for each other, but not anymore. Hernandez throws him down and is barking at Keandre Gibson.
And not even a point, not even a warning. Let's see, will the referee come together? He does nothing there. That's unusual for the second time that that's happened now.
And Hernandez is going local in the round. He's letting his hands go as he's coming and bringing the pressure to Keandre Gibson, who's staying calm.
And Gibson is keeping his defense in the middle, so Loco has to go wide with his shots. A lot of sizzle, but no stake.
Obviously, Hernandez feels like he's behind in the cards. He needs to do something crazy. That's what his nickname is.
Yeah, he's going to let it all out. It's an emotional game, and he's putting everything out there for the final round. But as you watch, see how wide the shots are going for him, and Gibson can tighten up and let those shots go around him.
Gibson has 5 KOs in his career. Loco was stopped in his last fight. Gibson stayed calm under all that flurry. A minute to go in the fight, and now he's leaning on Hernandez. Crowd not liking it. Loco has won the crowd here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Snapping that jab still, Keandre Gibson. Trying to work the body of Hernandez. Hands still up for Gibson. You mentioned that wild swing and a miss.
And Gibson being smart, tucking those elbows in, making himself a hard target, going back to the jab. He evades a shot there. Now, with 20 seconds to go, he should just want to get to the belt, not do anything crazy.
That's his opponent. Loco is his opponent. 10 seconds to go in the fight. Loco Hernandez, Keandre Gibson. Been a good battle here in Corpus Christi. Gibson trying to get a little flair. And that'll do it. The two fighters hug, they talk. Got a little dirty a couple times, with some respect between the two. And there you see Hernandez, Keandre Gibson, the young fighter, 24-year-old from St. Louis.
Gibson almost went bolo on Loco. Here's how it got rough in the last round. The headlock and the throwdown. And it was settled right there.
And there you see the reaction from Hernandez coming back. We're going to get you the results. Gibson, Hernandez in Corpus. We are back in Corpus Christi, Texas. A good fight between Keandre Gibson, there you see him on your screen, and Jose Loco Hernandez. Win 8 rounds. A good one, Dave.
And it was a good scrap all the way. In tight, we had the headlock and the throwdown. There were a couple of those. These guys also tapped and slapped fives for sportsmanship. In the inside, the body attack was good for both guys. They loaded up, and the 4th round, we saw a lot of it. And Gibson, toward the end of the round, with his big right hand. And Hernandez kept coming with the wide shots. Gibson was able to tighten up and evade a lot of them, but some of them got in by Hernandez. Hernandez, no quit in him, kept coming, and then toward the end, another signature, a headlock and a throwdown. Hernandez not happy at the end, and now let's see who's unhappy when they announce the decision.
Let's go to our announcer, Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of fight, we go to the judges' scorecards, and here are the totals. Judge Don Griffin scores at 77-75, Hernandez. Judge Ruben Carrion, 79-73 for Gibson. And Judge Lucy Rogers scores at 78-74 Your winner by split decision and still undefeated, Keandre Sugar King Gibson.
Still undefeated, split decision. Keandre Gibson improved to 11-0 with one draw. And the 24-year-old from St. Louis went up against a tough fighter. A couple of lessons learned here.
Yeah, about a guy trying to outmuscle him. He did a good job boxing at the end of the fight. It's a just decision for him. He won the fight, and he did a nice job throughout it.
Yes, he did. And then coming up, our main event, Belmontes Cotto, Mexican against a Puerto Rican in Corpus. The American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas. A good crowd.